This is Highland Park Station.
All right, my friends, stop number 2. We are in Highland Park, just south of Pasadena, west of Pasadena, south of Pasadena. Yeah. Anyway, there's the old Highland Theater, defunct, but I forget. I think Wednesdays they have a little farmers market that comes through here and up that way. I've yet to go to it, but this is an old part of Los Angeles. This is LA. It's just a branch off. And I wanted to come here just to... You like the anti-homeless benches? Nice, huh? No sleeping. No welcome. So, because I wanted to do some shopping, but I got to venture out and make my dollars stretch for what little dollars I have this week. It's payday coming up, so bills were taken care of, but you wait a couple more weeks and then rent comes along, which is what's due now. So it never ceases. I had bills when I was homeless, had to juggle my money, and now I have a little bit more bills. Well, I have some important, very, very important bills to sustain my life. The Gold Line. Inches from death. Ah, perfect. The Dollar Tree store. Highland Park, like a lot of cities during the 80s, started falling wayside here. And LA started not really focusing too much. They had bigger plans back in the 80s, especially starting around 79, 1980, with the coming in of the 84 Olympics. So smaller cities like Atwater Village, Highland Park, Cypress started falling wayside, and it wasn't until a couple of mayors started turning around and saying, hey, you know what, we have a great history, we have a great community, let's turn this around, and started bringing up. It doesn't look like much, trust me, it doesn't look like much, but it is quite a bit. It's come up a lot. It was pretty bad. By any means, I'm not putting it down. I love these smaller communities of LA. Mainly because I grew up in areas like this, going to cities and towns for shopping or visiting friends and family with mom and dad, and then later on with mom. So, you know, little cities like this may look intimidating and kind of scary, especially like during the middle of the week when it's really busy and stuff. But it's not. It's very diversified nowadays, especially Atwater Village. My goodness, I can't really get over how much that place Alhambra's the same way too. Alhambra changed a lot. But it's cute. It's nice here. There's decent shopping. There's really some good eateries here. And some good taquerias. Ooh, a Baskin Robbins. Dollar Tree is where I'm definitely going to go. Smart and Final. I don't need to go to Smart and Final. I have one in town. I need to go cheap today. Rent is definitely affordable here. But still pretty expensive for, I'm sure, what it used to be. But yeah, that's life. Everything goes up. Nothing is really ever going to come down in price to what it used to be. So we just continue to bitch and moan in life about the cost of living and housing. But housing has gotten ridiculously, very much out of proportion. Inflated to the extreme is like, I gotta slap myself. Am I seeing the price of a rental for not even a 1-bedroom, but a studio? It's outrageous. And we have a florist. Nice little clothing shop. See, as you can see, it's very diversified here. A couple of gentlemen standing, one baby with a baby. This was the commercial district. I think it wasn't until about maybe the millennia when cities started putting little landmarks like this. And it's important because that way, look, every little city here in LA has its own history and importance to the development of Los Angeles County as a whole. And it's really interesting how every little city developed, who started it, what it encompassed as far as the community, what their needs were, what their main activities were. It's really, really great. Los Angeles has so much history. It's just amazing. It's kind of like the way especially Hollywood. I want to go see the Tarantino movie. I've heard nothing but great reviews, so we'll see. Maybe next week, or I will just wait until I get to see it on one of my internet channels. Everybody's on the bandwagon. So here, and very much like much of LA County in California, period. Oh, the theater is running up again. Theater. We always had an affinity for advertising on a grand scale. A lot of rooftop signs. A lot of, I don't know if you can see, let me see, that right there. All over California, we used to have those big, huge statues, usually in front of like auto shops, with a guy with holding a big tire, or a wrench, or a crowbar. And we've also had a lot of unusual shaped buildings, hot dogs, chickens, dogs, dinosaurs. Very unique. Sadly to say, most of those iconic buildings are gone, destroyed, and made room for progress, of course. But sad to say a lot of our history is gone, but California and Los Angeles had an affinity for photography, so a lot of our history is recorded in photography and in pictures. It's a great building. I've never been inside, but it looks to be a spectacular building. I'm sure it's very ornate. Yeah, there's some really great eateries here. Wow. Focus. And they have a little alfresco garden out there. What the heck is that? And that is another thing that we used to have here in Los Angeles. We used to have a lot of beautiful murals that started, I'd say, back in the 70s, where there was a campaign to put a stop on graffiti and kind of incorporate local artists and taggers. They weren't called taggers back then, but to cooperate with them, and instead of just doing gibberish all over, they were invited and welcome to create art. So thus in the 70s, early to mid 70s was an explosion here in Los Angeles, where especially along the freeways and on some of the older buildings, a lot of murals started popping up, especially during 76. We had a lot of bicentennial murals popping up all over Los Angeles, and it was really, really great to see the city light up with color on walls and buildings, and on the side of freeway retaining walls and the walls of the underpasses. It was fantastic. It was really cool. And then we had another small explosion of murals in the early 80s, and then it just died down, and LA County just kind of forsook that, and the graffiti started coming back and taking its place, and nothing like that. It would be nice to have a revitalization of that kind of art. I think it's positive for communities, and it relieves a lot of tension for graffiti artists and taggers, whatever you want to call them, to put something up on a building and display their art proudly and say, yeah, I did that piece, instead of saying, oh yeah, that's my gibberish, that's my script. You know, it's, I don't know, it's just my view, you know, but growing up here in Southern California and LA County mainly, yeah, I've seen a lot of changes. And some for the worse, some definitely for the lot better, and some still being questioned and scratching my head and trying to wait for an answer to appear. But anyway, that's it, my friends. This is stop number 2. Again, blackout date for me, Universal. So I wanted to do something and share with you. Here's another cute little coffee shop, the Civil Coffee. A lot of coffee shops here. That's another business that you really don't want to get into here in Southern California or LA County. Hamburgers, pizzas, Mexican food. Oh my God, there's almost no area. You have to come up with something. Cafe Birdie. See, here's another cafe. One right after the other. All right, my friends. You folks take care of yourselves, take care of each other, but always take care of yourselves first. Love one another, trust one another, be kind to each other. Help one another. Don't take today for granted or any other day thereafter. Live for the moment, pull down your pants and slide on that ice. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing, what we're doing, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button, tell your friends and family about me, about us, what's going on. See, at least we now know Farmers Market, Tuesday, 3 to 8. Kind of sucks because I think I'm usually working on Tuesday. Leave any comments, good or bad, please. Let me know what you think. Anything that I've touched or whatever I've shown you. And here's another little shop. Fashion 21. Cute. Alright, my friends. I will post this video once I get home. And you folks have the rest of the beautiful Monday. Love you all. Take care. Bye.